Okay, good afternoon and welcome to our training. Today, what we are going to do is we're going to learn about transformational leadership. So before we go into transformational leadership and my explanation of what transformational leadership is about, basically, you know that I am actually a Malaysian. So if you want to speak a little bit mixed, also it's not a problem. I'm not an English grammar teacher to correct your English or what. So even if you speak mixed in Bahasa Melayu and English, also acceptable. All right? The important thing is participation. We need you to participate. So today we are going to talk about transformational leader, and I'm sure you want to know who is the guy that's standing in the front here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a self-introduction, and then each of you will do an introduction of yourself. We've got 5 points to cover in terms of your self-introduction. We don't want to make it long, but what we want to do is we make it short and interesting. Okay? All right, this is a very silent class. Come on, guys. Yeah. So let's get a little bit of enthusiasm through you. So my name is, my long name is Francis Edmund Brendan Bateman. It's too long. So basically, I shorten it to Frank Bateman. And a lot of people like to mispronounce my family name as Batman. I'm not Batman. As you can see, between the bat and the man, there's an E there. All right? So to stop you from mispronouncing my family name, it's easier for you to call me Frank. Frank. So you take me as your friend and Frank, they rhyme. So easy to remember my name, right? So now we will actually go into your names, and what I want you to do is you create your own short name. It doesn't have to be your identity card name. It doesn't have to be your passport name. It's just the name that you want to be called in this training. Okay? So a little bit about me. I've been working for AirAsia the past 18 years. So I've been a long-time staff of AirAsia. When I first started with AirAsia, basically I did soft skills. So I was a soft skills training manager for AirAsia Academy. So what is soft skills? Anyone want to give it a shot? What do you think is soft skills? Communication, yes, fantastic. Communication is part of soft skills. But what actually is soft skills? All right, so let me give you a very easy explanation. 5 plus 5 is how much? 10, fantastic. If you went to China, 5 plus 5 is how much? It will be 10, right? And if you went to India, 5 plus 5 is how much? It'll be 10. So that is a fixed skill, which is a hard skill. No matter where you go throughout the world, globally, that knowledge is fixed. So when any knowledge that is fixed knowledge, that's a hard skill. So any knowledge that is variable, that is a soft skill. Here, in Malaysia, I can call you Cik, or maybe I can call you Puan, right? Just imagine if I went to China and I call someone Cik or Puan. Do you think they will understand? But am I wrong? I'm not wrong, but they won't understand. So that is variable knowledge. I have to call something that's appropriate there. So now you know the difference between hard skill and soft skill. Anything that is variable is a soft skill. Anything that is fixed is a hard skill. When you went to school or college and you learn science, chemistry, physics, those are hard skills. So communication is a soft skill. If I was to ask you to say hello, you will say differently from how a guy would say hello. So it's variable knowledge. So I've been doing that for 18 years. And prior to that, I was working for a Swedish company doing sales. So I was actually at one time based in Stockholm. And then I came back to Malaysia and I covered the ASEAN region in terms of sales and marketing. All right, so that's a little bit about me. Now it's interesting to know about you. So what we're going to do is we're going to do it very systematically. And first, you can see there's a paper in front of you, right? So I want you to create a name for yourself, a short name. So let's go. See that? Now don't do anything first. because many times when I actually conducted this class before, basically a lot of people, let me get it wrong. When I asked them to fold it into 4, so I want you to actually fold it into 4, but fold it like how I'm doing it. All right, so what you need to do is like this and like this. So you got it. An easy way to fold it is they call this their hot dog style. So it's like a hot dog, right? You know what's a hot dog? You went to A&W? Yeah, great. So guys, there is no wrong in training. When I say there's no wrong, that means you cannot give me a wrong answer. There is the right answers, and then there are different answers. So don't be frightened about answering, because you think, what if I actually answered wrongly? So there's no such thing as a wrong answer in training. There's a right answer, and then there are different answers. So if I asked you, what sound does a cat make? And maybe somebody say, it meows. Maybe he will say, my cat can bark like a dog. Maybe he got a special cat. Not wrong, right? So there are no wrong answers in training. There's only different answers. So once you have folded it, make it into a triangle and write your name there. Once you've written your name there, you can put it in front of you and then face your name to me so I can actually see it. So this is already done for you. So maybe you can write your name and do it. So you got 3 minutes to actually make your own place cards. So come on, let's see some interesting way of you designing it, your name. Make it as fanciful as you can. We just give you 3 minutes to do it. This is an icebreaker in case you came in feeling very tensed. So just write your short name. I don't want your identity card name. I don't want your passport name. Just the name that you want to be called in this training. Can? All right. So you got 3 minutes to do that. And then we will go into the introduction of yourselves. So this is another icebreaker. So yeah, do write your name. Make it as fancy as you can. Design. As you can see from this, it was designed. So design your own name. So don't write it down. That's why you got a nice marker pen. Everybody done? Okay, let's see. Very simple.
Simple Simon.
Simple Simon. Okay, your name rhymes with simple. Simon. Okay. Design it nicely so I can see. Done? Fantastic. And what's your name? Ilyas. Ilyas, you're very quiet, Ilyas. Okay? Ready? So now we are going to start in terms of your introduction. So a little bit on the introduction side. First, tell me, how did you get that short name that you actually written there? All right? Whether it's your family gave you the name, your friends gave you the name, or maybe you chose that name, or maybe it's actually your name from your identity card. The second point is, what do you do on a daily basis in terms of work? So when I explain, I can actually explain it according to your job task. The third thing is, how many years have you been in a leadership role if you are in a leadership role? If you're not in a leadership role, it doesn't matter. Okay? And of course, the next thing is, what do you expect to gain by attending this leadership course? The course is called Transformational Leadership. And the last one is, tell me something interesting about you that nobody knows. Now, when I say, the key word here is interesting. Okay? Interesting. So if I was to stand up here and say, something interesting about me is I know how to cook. Is that interesting? It's boring, right? Now, something interesting about me is I can cook Korean cuisine. I'm a Malaysian, but I can cook Korean food. Now, that's interesting, right? Yeah, so that's what I mean. Now, if I stand up here and say, something interesting about me is I'm a married guy. Is it interesting to you? Is it interesting? No, isn't it? It's boring. If I stand up here and say, something interesting about me is I'm a married guy with 5 wives. See, you start laughing. You start laughing. 4 also will lose to me. So that's what I meant. But something genuine. Okay? So who's going to start first? Maybe we'll ask simple Simon to start first. Simon, there. You got 5 points there. So for voice projection, if you stand up and actually speak, you'll be good in a leadership role. So shall you start, Simon?
Yeah, sure.
Fantastic. Let's give Simon a big round of applause. Okay.
Okay, so for the first one, my short name is Simon because any shorter will sound weird.
Okay.
On is weird. My daily task is basically I do training sales. So I speak to clients, I understand what their needs are, and I give them solutions based on what what the challenges are.
Okay.
So right now I'm not currently in that capacity of a leadership role.
Okay.
Now more of an individual contributor at the moment. So I think for today I would like to know something more about myself, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
If let's say I were to choose something about the transformational leadership, something interesting about me. Okay, there's one I guess.
Yes.
So, since for the last 29 days, no one has ever stopped me from eating during Puasa.
No one has stopped you?
Stopped me from eating during Puasa.
Okay.
Because some actually think that I look Malay. They have no idea who I am, what I am, or who I am.
Okay. So you want to explain to us?
It's quite interesting because people think I'm Malay, but I'm not, right? And they didn't, tell me about it. So maybe they're either scared of me, or they don't think I look Malay. So
all right.
I think that's interesting for me, which I have not really analyzed well.
Okay.
Just a thought,
All right. So haven't had a slap before?
No, not yet, not yet.
Okay.
Actually, I'm looking forward to that.
What's your ethnicity?
I'm Eurasian.
Okay, Eurasian. All right, great. So let's give Simon a big round of applause. And now who is going to go next? I'm not going to call your name. You need to actually stand up by yourself and explain. Who's going next? I'm not going to force you. Come on. Yeah. Stand up and voice projection. Fiza. All right, Fiza. Welcome to our training. Not pizza, huh? All right.
I'm here. My daily work task, actually, I am as admin. So my daily work, I think, is I do claims, training claims, director claims, and also I take care of the pantry also and the staff in the office. And then how many years leadership? I've never been leadership before.
Okay.
Maybe.
So you don't have any leadership experience? Not a problem. Yeah.
So what I expect, maybe after this I gain some knowledge untuk build my confidence untuk be a leadership. Because before this I macam sekilas you jadi leadership, you jadi leadership. So maybe what I expect, maybe after this cannot be a leadership.
Okay.
So what interesting about myself, I think maybe I cannot cook, but I can baking lah.
Oh, bake. Okay. So what's your best baking dish?
Chocolate cake.
Chocolate cake. All right.
Chocolate cake. Any type of cake I can.
You can.
Cake, yes, can.
Okay.
Also cookies also I can. Before this I pernah sell cake.
Okay. Great. So you two guys, have you actually tasted Fiza's chocolate cake? Not yet. Not yet. So you're bringing chocolate cake tomorrow. Okay, thank you very much. Let's give Fiza a big round of applause. Okay, one lady has done. Who is going next? Yeah, okay.
Hi, Mr. Frank.
Hi.
How did I get my short name? It came from my full name. It's Nur Adina.
Okay.
It came as without D and Na.
Okay.
Right? So my daily work task here, I'm in operation teams to arrange the training. So once the say give us a training, so I'm the one who arrange it to make it run.
Okay, interesting.
So for now, I've yet to become a leader. So I not have the leadership experience.
Okay.
And what I expect to gain is to to know more and maybe can prepare myself for the future.
Yes, of course.
So maybe one day I'll become a leader, so I know what is. For now, it's transformation. Usually they call leadership, right? So now it's transformation, it's something new.
Okay.
So I will love to learn. And the interesting about myself is I love to hear the Japanese
You love to share
Japanese song.
Japanese songs.
Yes. Even though I don't know how to pronounce it and to communicate in Japanese, but I do love to hear Japanese.
You like to hear Japanese songs. Can you sing Japanese songs?
With the music, can
Okay, let's give her a big round of applause. Okay. Now, guys, this is a leadership course, so we need your active participation, okay? So don't wait for the ladies to start first. All right, who's going next? And we'll see the last man standing will be answering all my questions for this training. Good afternoon.
My name is Hizriel. You can call me
His.
Yeah.
Okay, His. Welcome.
My daily work task, I'm actually a new internship student right here for only 3 days.
3 days, okay.
What do I expect to gain from today's transformational leadership training is how I can lead my project or works in future.
Okay.
Last one, tell us something interesting about me is I'm actually a Malay, but even Chinese people thought me I am Chinese.
Okay. So you're opposite of Simon. Can't be the same like Simon. You're opposite. So people think that you are Chinese even though you are Malay. And people think he is a Malay even though he's not Malay. Okay. So let's give him a big round of applause. Okay. So be prepared. You will be answering all my questions. Okay. Let's go.
Hi, good afternoon, Mr. Frank.
Good afternoon.
My name is Ilyas. How did I get my name? Is from my original name.
Okay.
My long name is Ilyas Ashraf.
Okay.
The first name Ilyas.
Okay.
My daily work task is I'm doing the sales part for the training sales management.
Mm-hmm.
We are in the same department.
Oh, both of you all in the same department.
Yes.
And these two ladies are admin. And you are? Which department actually? Admin. Okay. Operations. Okay, fantastic. Okay, please continue.
Years of leadership experience. So far, I don't have any experience in leadership yet.
Mhm.
Looking forward for the
Great.
leadership experience. So I expect to learn something that aligns with my daily task, leadership training. And then the interesting about me is I'm playing sport. Whatever sport that I involved is something that interesting for me lah. Basically, I'm playing football, badminton, tennis, kickball, all type of sports.
You play all kinds of sports.
Yes.
Okay, so you're a sportsman.
Yes.
Okay, that's a very interesting thing. Let's give Ilyas a big round of applause. Okay, so basically, I noticed that most of you don't have that leadership experience. it doesn't matter. To attend a leadership course is you're preparing yourself for your future. I'm sure one of these days you want to be a manager in this company, right? You don't want to work forever in the same position. You want to climb up the corporate ladder. So to climb up the corporate ladder, the best is to prepare yourself from a leadership perspective. So let's go with the next slide. So a little bit of guidelines. I'll try to go through this as fast as possible. So the important thing here, as you can see, participate as best as you can. The next one is we are going to win together as one organization. As you can see from here, we want to make sure that everybody here attending the training is at the same level. So it doesn't mean whether you're an intern or whether you're working a long time in this company. All we need to do is treat everybody the same. We leave our designations outside there. We leave our authority outside there. Here we're all the same. And of course, the important thing here is to stay positive. Now, let me just explain a little bit about this. When you actually think positive, that positive thinking will automatically affect you emotionally. So you will feel positive. And when you feel positive, you will automatically do positive. And when you do positive, you will then have positive results. There is a saying that positive things happen to positive people. So it's very important that you always think in a positive way. Now, let me give you an example about positive thinking. Now, if you went outside today and it's raining, what is good about rain? You went outside right now and it's raining. So what's good about it? School? Okay. What else? What is good about rain? Yeah, so that's a good way of thinking. Huh? So that's a very positive way of thinking. Huh? So it's blessings. Okay? So of course, if you think of it, blessings, that means how do you feel that? If you think about hujan rahmat, then bagaimana keadaan perasaan Anda? How do you feel? You feel a little bit happy. So when you feel happy, then you actually are ready to accept things. So even though you get a little bit wet, it doesn't matter. I'm very happy. Yeah? So it's always to think in a positive way. So the next thing, as you can see here, we can skip all this. But the important thing here, out of these 10, you think which is the most important guideline here? Out of the 10 guidelines we have there, which do you personally think is the most important? Yeah. Let's give Ilyas a big round of applause. Because in Air Asia, when we actually do any training, the most important thing is for the staff, for the people attending, to actually have fun. If you have fun, you will learn more. So what we do is we look for people to enjoy themselves. So that's the most important thing. So let's go with the training proper itself. So today we are going to talk about transformational leader. What is your idea of transformational leader? What do you think is transformational leader? Now, of course, today there is the learning objectives that we actually have, the learning outcomes. The first thing is to understand and apply transformational leadership principles. Under transformational leadership, there are actually 4 components of transformational leader. There are the 4 I's, not I's, 4-letter I. So I will be explaining that part to you, where you will actually have a clear understanding of the 4 I's of transformational leader and how to apply it. Now, anyone here has sat in a motivational class before? No? Have you actually sat where the manager stands in the front and tries to motivate you to go out there and do sales? No? Has a manager stand in front of you and told you you have to be the best that you can be? No? No? All right. So it looks like I've got a nice job to do here. Okay? So, of course, understanding the principles. And of course, as you can see, in terms of the transformational leadership, we're also going to talk a little bit about EQ. EQ is actually emotional intelligence. EQ is actually emotional quotient. Huh? Sometimes when you actually Google it, it actually comes under EI. Sometimes it actually talks about EQ. They are actually the same thing, just a different way of people actually using the terms. Huh? And of course, we are going to talk a little bit about communication. So if you will notice from this, in leadership, communication is number one. So let's have a little bit of a role play. Now, can you shake your dominant hand? Whichever hand lah. You sebelah, you orang kidal, then you use your left hand lah. So you shake your dominant hand. Yeah. Shake your dominant hand. Shake your dominant hand. Ready? All right. Point it in the front with your index finger. Done? Everybody done? Point it up to the ceiling. All right, done? Fantastic. Now point to your chin. You see everybody, you look at your friend, and what did the instructor say? The instructor said point to your chin, but everybody is pointing to the chin. Yeah? That shows you that when it comes to communication, actions speak louder than words. You get what I mean? Actions speak louder than words. So communication is very important, but how you communicate and what do you actually do to communicate plays a big role in people understanding. So that's what we are going to learn a little bit. Okay? Any questions so far? No questions? All right, great. So we've got 4 modules to cover. So in terms of communication now, who wants to stand up and read the 4 modules that we actually are going to cover for today? Elias, you want to do it? Yeah. And then this is communication, right? So you want to communicate from your diaphragm. If you want to be a good leader, it's from the diaphragm, not from your vocal cords. Not from here, from here. All right, let's go.
Introduction to Transformational Leadership, Developing a Vision and Driving Change, Emotional Intelligence for Transformational Leaders, Communication and Influence as a Transformational Leader.
Okay, fantastic. I got a new assistant to help me. So let's give Elias a big round of applause. Okay, so we shall start now with the first topic. So in terms of the transformational leader, we'll go into the introduction. What is your opinion? What do you think is transformational leader? Anyone? Anybody who would like to try? Simon, you would like to try? What do you think is transformational leader? Remember, there is no wrong answers. There is a right answer, then there are just different answers. So you cannot be wrong, right? So there is no exam for this course, so you cannot be wrong. Okay, so who wants to go? Simon? What's your idea? What do you think is transformational leader?
The mindset is to build someone up.
To build someone up.
Enable them to do something great.
Okay, fantastic. That's a very nice explanation. Yes. What do you think is transformational leader to you? Build up your strong leadership. Okay, great. And then we go to our gentleman. What do you think is transformational leader? Changes. Okay. What else? So you saw the movie Transformers? They can change from one to another, right? Yeah. So there are many kinds of leadership courses actually available. There is the democratic leadership style, autocratic leadership style, laissez-faire leadership style. I can go on and on and on. But for 2025, basically, the new way of leadership is transformational leadership, as opposed to transactional leadership. So I'll explain to you what is transformational leadership. So a little bit on transformational leadership. I did tell you that it will consist of 4 components. And what are the components? Anyone wants to take a guess? There are no wrong answers. Anybody wants to guess? Anybody wants to try? Okay, let's then go into transformational leadership. Well, transformational leadership style is a style that actually motivates people and inspires people. So it's very, very important when it comes to transformational leader, you know how to inspire people. You know actually how to motivate people to get the best out of them. So as you can see, the next point from here is that it focuses on a long-term vision. You need to actually have a vision. When you actually work anywhere, any corporation will actually have a vision. In your, here, this organization, do you actually have a corporate vision? Simon, do you have a corporate vision?
Yes, we do.
What's your corporate vision here?
It's to enable more people. So there's a nicely put word for it, enable the B40 to certify and upskill a certain amount of people.
Okay. So you have a vision, corporate vision. All right. Do you have a personal vision from a business perspective?
Yeah.
What's your personal vision?
I would say that I'm more of a person that looks at actions rather than that vision. So mine is more in terms of numbers.
Okay.
I want to achieve more than last year, that kind of thing.
Okay. So you look into the statistics of last year and make a comparison, and it's what you want to achieve above and beyond. Okay, great. So let's go into this. As you can see, there are 4 leaders there. Anyone knows the first guy? Who is that? And anyone wants to give an explanation about him? All right. So do you know what his leadership quality is? So a little bit of backstory. Nelson Mandela was incarcerated in prison. That means he was put in prison for a very long time. Close to 27 years plus he was in prison. While he was in prison, he was still very active. He wrote books, and he wrote about the freedom of the African people in terms of the blacks. So during that time, South Africa actually it was under apartheid rule. That means white supremacy rule. So while he was in prison, he kept on inspiring the people for freedom. So basically, they are all leaders, but each of them actually had a very good personal quality. So the next guy, do you know who's the next guy? And what's he good for? What's he known for? Apple founder. Very good. And what did he actually develop? Technologies. Yeah. So basically, Steve Jobs is the one who actually, he didn't actually invent the iPhone. Of course, his team of engineers actually brought forward the iPhone. But it's Steve Jobs, through his leadership, they actually came up with that. Long time ago, basically, there was, you want to actually make a call, you make a call. If you actually wanted to chat with someone, there's a chat service. What he did was that incorporate all together in a single phone, where you actually had a phone that could actually chat, could make calls, and could actually take photographs. So that's where he came. Very innovative in the way they think. The next person, Richard Branson. Do you know who's Richard Branson? Who is he? Virgin Group. Yeah, fantastic. Ikhlas knows a lot, huh? Huh? Very good, huh? So so what else do you know about him? So if you notice that, that this gentleman, Richard Branson, actually is willing to take a lot of risk. Do you know that he actually went around the world in a hot air balloon? He actually went around the world in a hot air balloon. So he's actually known for taking risks. So he started the Virgin group of companies, whether Virgin Records, Virgin Atlantic, where they had the long haul flights and all. And the last one, do you know who's that guy? He was the apprentice here. Yeah, he used to work for him a long time ago. And now he is actually the owner of Capital A. Yeah, he's Air Asia. Huh? So basically, he's also got very good leadership qualities. Why I put these four here? Because if you can see, if we were just to use one single word to describe them, you can actually see that, the first guy, very inspirational. The second guy, visionary, words, sees things far ahead. The other one is a risk taker. And the last one is a very innovative person. Why I say innovative is, during COVID, the aeroplanes actually cannot carry passengers. Aeroplanes are parked. So no passengers. So what do you do? So what he did was that he converted his aeroplane into cargo carriers. So the aircraft, the bottom, which carries the cargo, on top carry passengers. But what they do is that they converted the top into carrying cargo. So the planes still can be used. So that's how the company actually sustained during the COVID period. So very innovative way of thinking. So out of these four guys, they have the key components here. All right, so what we are going to do now is, before I go into and explain in depth of what transformational leader, what we'll do is we'll take a short break in case you want to make a phone call or you want to go for a bio break. Then we'll come back in 5 minutes. Is that okay? Okay, fantastic. Okay.